Hello, my friends. My goodness, it has been a while since I have been on the microphone, but I'm back ready to share some more stuff. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope that whatever time of the day you are joining me, I hope that it's going well, or it will be going well, or it has been well for you. Um, Welcome to Unapologetically Free Authenticity the Hard Way podcast. I am your host, Asha Zalika. And wow, um, I honestly don't know how to start, um, where to start. This is just a lot has happened since July 4th, which was the last episode that I recorded. It has been, my goodness, let me see, I wrote it down. It's been 6 weeks and 6 days. And you know what? I'm just going to jump in right there with that. I believe I study numerology, I study astrology. I believe in the vibration of numbers. I believe in vibrational energy, period. I know that some people interchange spirit and vibration or energy, and all of that is where it is and what it is. But for me, when I see repeating numbers, I have learned to pay attention. And I will give you a short example. When I was with my ex-husband, um, I guess it's been almost 2 years. Good Lord. Anyway, right before I, me and my son took off and ran away, my son and I were driving to the gym for my PM workout, and I was feeling high vibration, high energy within my body. I knew that things were going on in the ethers, or in the unseen world, right? And so we were driving, and matter of fact, I was listening to Kirk Franklin's Stomp. And I'm into the music, right? And I'm singing and da 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 da. And you know, when you've been driving a certain route for so long, you just kind of go, you just drive, and it's almost on automatic. Well, it was one of those moments, and Kirk said stomp, and I saw the red light up, and I said stomp and pushed on the brake, and happened to look up at the car in front of me, and the license plate said 555. And I, oh my God. And I grabbed my son by his arm and said, Assy, look at that, it's 555. And he like, yeah, okay, that's a nice license plate. Never seen one of those before. But I'm like, no, you don't understand. 555, that means that some dramatic change is about to happen. And y'all, dramatic change did happen. And a few days after that, my son and I took off and we're headed back here to California. And that has happened numerous times, to the point where I pay attention to my surroundings, especially when numbers are involved. And so today, I have been feeling the pull, I guess you could say, um, to jump back into my podcast, and start the ball rolling again. I stopped podcasting not because there was any negative thing that happened, but actually a wonderful thing had happened, and my life. I just went through a major overhaul in my life, and so I was focused in that area, and days just ran away from me. So I've been thinking for a while now of how to come back and what to start with. And so yesterday, and I'm a writer too, and it's been a while. I think the last thing I wrote and published on Medium.com was a thought about Juneteenth. So it was June 19th. And I haven't really been writing to publish anything since then. I've been writing in my autobiography, and I've been working on some other pieces, but I haven't written anything to publish since then. And yesterday, when I woke up, I was in a space. I can't necessarily say that I was depressed, but it was a heaviness around me, and so I just started writing. And what evolved out of that emotional state into a beautiful emotional state when I was done was a piece called 6 Inches Above Ground. And I will put the link in the description for this podcast so that you can read it for yourself. But the reason why I brought it up is because of the six, the number six, and it just came to me. It just dropped into my spirit, and so I went with it. And so, as I do, being the seeker of knowledge and student that I am, I looked up what the vibration of number six is, and the vibration of number six is love, nurturing, service to others, unconditional love, being concerned with the needs of others, protection, emotional healing, and stability. It represents Venus, which we know deals with love, and it is the symbol of the union between partners. And it also represents a person who is very artistic and creative. And in Chinese, it represents flow. So that piece that I wrote, that the number six, that 6 inches above ground, came to me was because I was writing a kind of poem to my new love, and well, I ain't gonna tell you about it. You have to read it, but it's about love and about joining together as one. So as I was sitting here this morning, I've been sitting for a couple hours trying to figure out what to talk about, because I know that it's time to talk. Just like when I did my intro cast, it was just time to talk, time to speak. And so I was like, well, how long has it been since since I did my last podcast? And so I asked Google how many weeks it's been since July 4th, 2023. And Google said to me, it has been 6 weeks and 6 days. And so, of course, being the very animated person that I am, oh my God, it's 2 sixes. And then I wrote 6 inches above ground yesterday. So it's time for me to do this. And it just so happens that what I want to talk about is love and emotional healing and stability. Because all of these things have taken place in these last 8 weeks and 4 days. So let me explain this to you. Since Unapologetically Free, Authenticity the Hard Way, this podcast is about experiencing our way to our authentic selves. And so the crux of the podcast are personal experiences. And I have had a major experience. So kind of picking up on part 2 of episode 9, where I had come out of the karmic relationship that I created. I'm picking up where that karmic relationship ended in the best way that it could, with that guy lying to me and telling me that he would help me out, and 3 days had passed and he did not. However, in the midst of that week, I met a man that, first of all, let me just stipulate and get it clear that I was not looking for a relationship. Coming out of the karmic relationship was not something that was a major deal because it was over. The minute that I realized he's not going to change, he is how he is, and this relationship had actually nothing to do with him, but was all about me. Um, um, what's the word I want? Confronting my shadow self and dealing with issues of my past. Once that relationship ended, I felt it. And it was just an abrupt, it's over. Almost like you just closed the door and the door's just closed. And so I was not looking for a relationship. I was absolutely fine. And this is just in a matter of days. So I think I said it before in a different episode. Like, things happen in my life in such a way that it's just amazing how the majority of things have always been tower moments where things just come crashing down and I'm left homeless, or I'm left broken, I'm left abused, I'm left wounded. That has been the course of my life and how things change abruptly and drastically. But I've learned that things happen in my life in seasons. And I guess perhaps this is a two-part message, but I learned that things happen in my life in seasons. So every 6 months, my life goes through, I guess, a metamorphosis would be a good word, where either I am coming out as the butterfly. If we talk about the metamorphosis of a butterfly, coming out of the cocoon into a new phase of my life, or I'm going into the cocoon and going through the metamorphosis of becoming the butterfly. It's either or. And what I've also learned is that my seasons coincide, my life changes or cycle seasons in my life run concurrently with the seasons that we go through. So from, I'd say, the end of September, early October, when we go into winter and fall, my life begins to die down. And that is me going into the cocoon, or going, the cocoon being created and around me. And it is a time of reflection and a time of healing and growth, but in a closed type of area scenario. And then going from January into February and March is where I begin revving up, so to speak, and I begin coming alive, if you will, and ready to kind of step out of the cocoon, stretching my wings, or preparing for, I don't know how you want to say it, but that's another shift in my life. And then from the end of March, no, that's not true. From April, I'd say from April, May, going on into August and September, then I have, as the butterfly, I've come out of the cocoon, and I'm learning myself as the new butterfly that has emerged. So, and this is generally like a 6 month time period that these changes take place. And so I have been studying myself for a very long time, and with the help of Spirit and God, and just different different experiences, I have learned this about myself. So June, coming out of April, going into June, was a 6 month time period that I had been with in that karmic relationship. So where was I? I I was not looking for a relationship. I was totally focused on whatever stage I was at in that season, which just so happened to be me maturing more as a butterfly. Just all of the experience that I had with that man had put me in a different place where I was more aware of myself, as this new higher version of myself than I was 6 months prior. And lo and behold, I met this man who had seen me, but at the gym, I hadn't seen him. And then when I did see him, it was like one of those moments where you just really see somebody and it's like, wow, okay. I'm not going to go into the full detail of it, but when you set your mind to, well, since we're talking about reaching our higher selves, the moment that you make that decision and you make the declaration within yourself, understand that all of your life is now aligning for that purpose. The man that came into my life right at the end of that karmic relationship is the man that I have wanted all of my life, is the man that I have been looking for all of my life. And when I say that, I really mean since a little girl. I knew the type of man that I wanted. And as I've grown and I've matured and I've been through relationships and experienced different people in general, I know and knew the type of man that I wanted. And each man that I have been with in relationship since I was 19 years old has had only bits and pieces of that man, my dream man, I guess you could call him. And he's here. He is in my life. He is everything that I want, everything that I could ask for, everything that to have him. I'm in awe. We have been together today. It's 8 weeks and 4 days, and I am in awe of this human being. I'm in awe that he even exists as he is. He is a seeker just as I am. He had made the decision not too long ago to become his authentic self. He has been through just as much pain and heartache as I have been. He was homeless off and on throughout his life, just like I have been. He has been, our lives intertwine perfectly. If I was a man, I would be him. It's that type of thing. And the transformation, and this is probably one of the only times that I will actually use the word transformation when dealing with becoming our authentic selves, is because my life has transformed since I met him and since we have been together, to the point where this is a whole new world that I am living in, an absolutely whole new world. We spent every day, so he does not live where I live in California. He just happened to be out here in June. He lives in Oklahoma. He just happened to be out here because his grandmother fell and broke her hip, and he came to care for her. The same thing I would do. And it just so happens that he is a strength trainer or power lifter, however he and I'm a bodybuilder. And so we just happened to meet at the gym, which is something that, I mean, that's what I wanted. I cannot tell you how many years I have cried um, with the desire just to have someone who could train with me, someone who could understand my passion and my insanity towards weight training and bodybuilding. Um, I tell you what, the first like 3 days of this relationship, I cannot tell you how many times we said, "You believe that? You do that? Are you serious?" I mean, because he does yoga. I do yoga. I'm like, he's 6'5". I'm looking at him like, you do yoga? He's like, yeah, I do yoga. Um, he eats clean, like I eat clean. I mean, our thought processes are just the same. So anyway, 6 weeks we were together. He was out here. And we spent every day together. He took me hiking. I have been wanting to go hiking for I don't know how long. And I went hiking with him. It's the only man that I could say that I would ever feel safe with going up on a high mountain. We went up on the mountain and just looked over the city. Like, I'm telling you the things. He took me to a waterfall. I did not know there was a waterfall out here. When I say my life is transformed, it's amazing. He has helped me heal in areas that I did not know needed to be healed just by his presence, by having someone with his stability to be able to open up and share things that I have not shared with other people. It's amazing. Like I said, I am still in awe that, number one, someone like him exists, and number two, that he is in my life and that we are building a future together. And I'm talking about this because, and I say this gingerly, but I'm going to say it because I have arrived years ago. This place, and when I say place, I mean this place spiritually, mentally, emotionally. This place where I am years ago was just a thought. It was just what if type of situation, what if type of scenario. As a teenage girl, my knight in shining armor is this guy. You know, I created the man from my karmic relationship in my mind, from a broken place. But my heart's desire was this type of man who would just come into my life and we would just, I wouldn't have to change. I think that's what I'm trying to get. It's just I would just wanted a man who would come into my life and who would accept me as I am. I remember one time I was sitting in a truck talking with a male friend. We tried to have a relationship, but it didn't work. But he's a dear friend. And he looked at me and he said, Asha, what are you looking for? In a man, what are you looking for? And before I could think, it came out of my mouth, I'm looking for me. And it shocked me when I said that. And he looked at me. He said, I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before until that moment. But when I thought about it, yes, that's what I want. There's a part of me somewhere. Not saying that I'm not whole. because now I'm whole. But in order for me to be in a true relationship, my partner, my mate, would have to be able to understand me as this woman and accept me as I am, in all my goofiness, my weirdness, my intensity, my over the topness, just to accept me like I am. And that has been all I have ever wanted since a little girl. Because my father didn't accept me because I was a girl. So that set the stage for my most deepest desire, is just to be allowed to be me and be loved as I am. I am 51 years old. All of my life I have wanted that, and it has manifested. And I'm still in awe. I wake up in the middle of the night and sometimes I just cry because it's here. I have what I've always wanted. Why? Why is it here now? That's the question. That's the thing. Why now? Well, because I set myself on a course for it to come to me. No resistance. I followed my course to this level of authenticity. And it was hard. That's why this is called authenticity the hard way, because I have had to go through horrendous experiences to get here. So if you can imagine a revolving door, and I went into a karmic relationship that I knew was needed. I didn't know why. God told me what he wanted me to do, but I didn't know the full depth of it. And to come out, so the revolving door just turns around, and when I came out on the other side, after having gone through it and accepted everything that that relationship was meant for, it was meant to change me, it was meant to uncover me, to come out of that revolving door as the new woman that I was and walk right into the greatest desire of my life. That is manifestation at its highest. That is the result of digging in deep and fighting and no longer running when shit hit the fan, but stand there. And there are times when you have to run, and trust me, I know. But with that karmic relationship, I didn't run from it. I stayed in it as long as was necessary to get what I needed out of it. And what I needed out of that relationship was the true me. And so now here I am in this new place where I know I'm a changed woman. I feel it. And it's not because I don't want to say this. My mate, my guy, my man, my soulmate, my partner, whatever you want to call him, my buddy, has not done anything but be himself. And him being his authentic self has combined with me being mine. And we have made magic. And to the point where God told me that this is a fairy tale summer. And the fairy tale meaning, I don't care if it's Cinderella finding her prince, or the the princess and the princess and the frog, or Shrek, whatever you want to call it. All the fairy tales have an element of seeking authenticity in it. And I have met my prince, and I have met myself as the princess. It's magical. This is real magic that is taking place in my life right now. I can unequivocally say I am at the highest version of myself at this place. Is everything perfect? Yes. And meaning nothing missing and nothing broken? Yes, everything is perfect. Is every day a happy, joyful day? Hell no. I am still healing. I am still recovering. But I know what I'm healing from. I know what I'm recovering from. Yesterday, I was, and so for me, being the empath that I am and so susceptible to my surroundings, I am most definitely affected by new moons. I am most definitely affected by all the astrological stuff that goes on, to the point where my partner told me the other night, it's a new moon, watch your emotions. And sure enough, everything got all wonky. But things are not, those moments are don't overtake me, because I know that there's a reason. But at this level where I am, I have reached the highest version of myself. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm proud of myself, y'all. So what's next? So I am coming on the end, towards the end of this season of, of this part of my life. And I know that towards the end of seasons, things change. So I can't expect everything to be the same. I need to be in alignment with the change that is coming. And if you look around, we're in summer. We're what, the middle of August going into September. Season is getting ready to change. We're going to be going into fall, right? When everything dies out, it starts getting colder. I know what's happening. And I'm not being taken off guard by anything. What I am doing now is staying in alignment. And I have gotten out of my need to control everything. That has been my major problem. The need to control. And I've gotten message after message after message about letting go, trusting God, trusting myself in this process, and trust the process. And allow this relationship to evolve without me trying to force its evolution or trying to force the course of its evolution. He's there. We're separated. But when he left, he told me, it's just my presence that's leaving, right? It's just my physical presence. And I'm looking at life through a new scope. And that scope, the name of that scope is called alignment. That's the title of the scope, is alignment. And the subtitle is, you can have whatever you want if you stay in alignment. That's funny. I just saw that. Ha! What am I saying, guys? I'm saying that the woman or the man that you desire to be is available to you. That next level, that next version, that higher version is available to you. You have to get aligned with that version. If you are tired, if you have a problem with telling the truth, the only way you are going to become the higher version of yourself that no longer lies is to align yourself with the truth and stay truthful. And stop trying to manipulate situations with the lie. It's a lie. People lie because they want to maintain some type of control. And allow life to flow for you in truth. If you're a fearful person, you got to align yourself with confidence. You got to align yourself with trust. You have to align yourself with expectation of good and not expectation of bad. And live from that place. This thing goes on and on and on, but I'm telling you, my life, I'm speaking this so that my life can be a real go-to for you. I did it. I have a relationship that I have always wanted. And from this place where I am now, all things are possible to me because I believe. Long ago, I believed that this person was a real person. And he came, just like I created the other one. And he came. It's all about the power of our thoughts. It all goes back to the power of our thoughts. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I think I have thought that I have been worth being me and worth having someone who would appreciate and accept me. And I believed it long enough until it is manifested. And it's a solid manifestation. And I don't have to change. If I want to be retarded, that's the wrong word. If I want to be silly in Walmart, well, he just lets me be silly in Walmart. But I do it by myself. I'm just acting a fool in Walmart. But now I have someone that, there she go. She just being her. And he big and strong, so ain't nobody really gonna test the water and mess with me. Oh my God, y'all. I'm happy. I'm excited. I have reached a place in my life where can't nobody tell me nothing. I know that, and I say this carefully because I know that I'll have some listeners who don't, follow the Bible or whatever, but that's what I know. And I know that the Word of God is true as it applies to my life. That the power of life and death is in the tongue. That as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I know that I know that I know that I am just a part of all that is. Call it what you want to call it. I am a small part of that, a fractal of that. So I am a concentrated part of the most powerful being or energy or whatever you want to call it that exists. All of that is concentrated within me. And if I stay aligned and flow with that concentrated power that is within me, all things are possible. I can have the things that I want. And since I don't mean anybody harm, and I'm not trying to get over on anybody, and I'm not trying to be world famous or anything like that, I just want to help people, I get to have it that much more because the things that we want that are there that we want for other people, we get it magnified back to us. It's the law of attraction. Whew. Can I tell you something? You can have it. You can most definitely be that man or that woman that you want to be. Not the one that everybody wants you to be. Not that one that you're faking so that you can have more likes or more this or some form of status or whatever have you. No, that person that deep down inside you truly want to be. You. It's available to you. You got to work for it. Blood, sweat, and tears. Lonely days, lonely nights. consistency, discipline, integrity, honor, respect, admiration for all that is good. You can definitely be that. So don't give up on yourself. If I would have given up on myself a long time ago, oh my God. Oh my God, I hate to think. I want to be the best person that I can be. For one reason and one reason only. And so that I could help somebody else be the best version that they could be. That's it. I just want to be of service. I want to help. That's why I speak. That's why I write. That's why I laugh and draw attention to myself, and people laugh with me, and then it opens up conversation, and that's all. A friend of mine said, and I love her. She said, everybody needs a Ashe in their life. That made me cry. If it's the truth and everybody needs an Ashe in their life, that means that I've done it. I've reached that place. Everybody needs an Ashe in their life. And so I'm here. And I'm going to keep on getting better and gooder. I ain't going to get taller. I'm going to get stronger, though. Have a wonderful day, friends. And remember, the best thing that you could do for yourself is to love yourself and accept yourself as you are now, but strive to become better. I love y'all. Bye.